Good morning, dear students of class 12. Welcome to the English online learning class. Today, we are going to further continue with the lesson On the Face of It by Susan Hill. First, let us have a brief recap of what we did in the previous classes. This lesson is in the form of a play and it is about a young boy of 14 years who is suffering from an acute inferiority complex. The boy is not able to accept his physical disability. Half side of his face is burnt due to acid and he is sitting in Mr. Lamb's garden thinking that there is nobody in the garden. He is on the lookout of a lonely place so that he can spend the rest of the day. He avoids people. Mr. Lamb, who is the owner of this garden, comes and he strikes up a friendship with this boy, and there is something charismatic about Mr. Lamb which does not let the boy feel depressed anymore. He initially is reluctant to even talk. He wants to leave the garden, but then he waits, he listens, he replies, he shares, he expresses, and gradually the boy is transformed. So there is a unique bond that unites the two. Now, as the lesson progresses, Mr. Lamb gives his pearls of wisdom to the boy. He tries to tell him that everything in nature has a purpose, has a role. It depends upon how we perceive it, how we view it. He also tells him beauty is relative. If nobody likes you, it does not stop you from liking them. He also says that do not believe in everything you hear. Maybe it was not meant for you. And if you come across anything which is demoralizing, just shut your ears. Have confidence in yourself. The boy finds his viewpoint very peculiar. And Mr. Lamb says, if he disagrees, he can also leave. But the boy decides otherwise. He stays, listens, because these things nobody has told him earlier. Things that really mattered in his life. Mr. Lamb also tells him of a man who locked himself in a room due to unfounded fears. But even in the safe four walls of the room, he was not safe as a pitcher fell on him and he died. What he meant to tell Derry was that by just avoiding people, life will not go on. He has to face the reality. He has to face the real world. Miss Derry wants to know from him. He shares with him his fears of other people who are close to him. They often speak when he is not around. What is going to happen to him when they die? Mr. Lamb says that, first of all, life is going to go on, and nobody knows that you may do even better, and if you decide to set your mind. He also tells him that hatred is worse than a bottle of acid, because hatred, it affects you internally. A bottle of acid only harms you, gives you physical injuries, but hatred kills you from inside, finishes you from inside. Now Derry wants to know those people who come to his garden. Actually, nobody visits him. He is also a loner. The very mention of names Tom, Dick and Harry speaks that no one visits his house. He's just putting an act of bravado. But in reality, Mr. Lamb is leading a lonely life. Derry says that he is going to come back. He'll go to his house, tell his mother, and return back to help Mr. Lamb in plucking the apples. But Mr. Lamb says, now, once you go, you will never return. You will not allow yourself to come back. But Derry has made up his mind. He has decided that he is going to go to his home and then return back and would help Mr. Lamb in plucking the apples. Now let's continue further. Mr. Lamb, to himself, there, my dears, that's you've seen too. You know, we all know I'll come back. They never do though, not them, never do come back. So he had a bitter experience when people have promised that they would return to help him, but they never return. And the same thing will happen with this child also. Scene 2. Derry's house. Mother. You think I don't know about him? You think I haven't heard things? Derry. You shouldn't believe all you hear. Mother. Been told, warned. We have not lived here 3 months, but I know what's there to know, and you are not to go there. So mother is not giving permission. Although they have just lived for 3 months, but mother has known everything about Mr. Lamb. Probably Mr. Lamb has not a good reputation. This is what her mother had heard. Derry, what are you afraid of? What do you think he is? An old man with a tin leg? And he lives in a huge house without curtains and has a garden? I want to be there and sit and listen to things. Listen and look. So he describes the old man and his house. And he says, I like the place. I like to sit there, listen to things, listen and look. Listen to what? Bees singing, him talking. And what's he got to say to you? Things that matter. Things nobody else has ever said. Things I want to think about. Then you stay here and do your thinking. You are best off here. So this is mother's final decision. You are not supposed to leave. You sit and think, but you will not go there. I hate it here. Derry is using his mind. He is expressing himself. He is confident now and he is capable of taking a decision. You can't help the things you say. I forgive you. It's bound to make you feel bad things and say them. I don't blame you. So mother says, it is not your fault. It is the fault of the old man. The things that he has put on your head. It's got nothing to do with my face and what I look like. I don't care about that. And it isn't important. It is what I think and feel and what I want to see and find out and hear. I'm going back there. only to help him with the crab apples, only to look at things and listen, but I am going. So he has taken the decision independently. He is now confident and capable of taking decisions on his own. Once he's decided that he is going to go, nobody will stop him. You will stop here. This is mother's decision. And always he had listened to his mother. But today, no. Oh no, oh no. Because if I don't go back there, I will never go anywhere in this world again. If I don't take this decision independently, I will never be able to take independent decisions. I have to leave. The door slams. Derry runs panting. He's hurriedly runs. He's out of breath. And I want the world, I want it, I want it. He has taken a final decision. Scene 3. Mr. Lamb's garden. Garden sounds the noise of a branch shifting. Apples thumping down, the branch shifting again. Mr. Lamb, steady, that's got it, that's it. More apples fall, and again, that's it. So Mr. Lamb is plucking the apples. A creak, a crash, the ladder falls back, Mr. Lamb with it, a thump. The branch swishes back, creaks, then silence. Derry opens the garden gate, still panting. So Derry is running fast. He's out of breath. He wants to reach his garden as soon as possible. Derry, you see, I came back. You said I wouldn't, and they said, but I came back. I wanted. So Derry says, yes, I have come back. This is what I said. He stops dead, silence. Mr. Lamb, Mister, you have. He runs through the grass, stops, kneels. Mr. Lamb, it's all right. You fell. I'm here. Mr. Lamb, it's all right. Silence. I came back, Lammy Lamb. I did come back. Derry begins to weep. So Derry has fulfilled his promise. He has come to help Mr. Lamb in plucking the apple. But it is too late now. Mr. Lamb is no more alive. He's fallen off the ladder and he's lying dead on the ground. But he has been able to change Derry. Derry is now more confident. He's come out of his negativity. He can take independent, bold decisions. So at this point, the lesson comes to an end. We'll discuss the remaining part of the lesson, the overview of the lesson in the next class. Thank you.